So everyone, we're the child immunization group. My name is Jared Sandel, and we're going to talk a little bit about vaccine in Jackson. So what exactly does that mean? Well, um, unfortunately for adolescents in Jackson County, we have lower vaccination rates, especially as a result of recalls. I don't know how many of you are aware with the vaccination process, but basically, obviously there are recommended vaccinations for all children across the state of Michigan and around the country. And as part of that vaccination, the county health department sends out what's called a recall. Basically, they have a statewide immunization database where they check and make sure that delinquent patients are notified that they're delinquent. Well, unfortunately, as a result of this recall, there's lower returns than they would like. In fact, only 6% on the most recent one, 6% of the adolescents who were sent a letter were actually got their vaccinations. So we wanted to try and address that rate for them. And of course, there's a lot of factors that go into that process, or a lot of difficulties that could occur. First off, I want to just speak to the amount of miscommunication that's out there about vaccinations. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. Maybe there are people around you who have heard about there's a lot of controversy, maybe some miscommunications about the types of things that vaccinations do or don't do to the population. Well, that's a huge problem, and one of the ways we want to address it is communications. So, unfortunately, the county health department has limited control over the amount of communications they can do. They do have a website, but it's handled by the county. They have to contact an external group to actually get their website updated. There are some federal regulations around the amount of information they can share with different groups. In fact, when we were trying to figure out how we could get accurate address data, when we were determining whether or not we could do direct communications to people, we found that there were school data and health data and other types of data that don't necessarily cross over to each other because of different types of federal regulations. Lastly, they have constrained resources for marketing. In the past, they've run radio ads as part of a grant, but that money has since dried up. So unfortunately, they have limited money to market and share the word. So, actually, they've already done some work before we joined them. They had actually started some social media portals. In fact, they have a Facebook presence and recently started a Twitter page, which is great. In fact, it generates a lot of excitement around the staff and their involvement across some departments, but it's largely informal. They coordinate through a social media committee, but the amount of communications they do and the coordination between departments was relatively informal. So one of the things they were asking for assistance with, and one of the things we were happy to help provide, is helping them plan their social media plans. Basically, we workshopped with them. As a result of some discussions with them, we know that social media is a great opportunity to share information about vaccinations, especially since that's the source of a lot of miscommunication. It's very easy to click a share button nowadays or a retweet, right? And you'll hear a lot about that. So it's a great opportunity to share appropriate information. So we help them develop a plan that helps coordinate across departments within the health department, helps organize their communications, and helps develop evaluation metrics as to how they can actually evaluate whether or not they're meeting their goals from month to month. The parameters of the plan are pretty straightforward and pretty simple. We wanted a lightweight plan that was functional, engaging, and informative. It had to be made to grow. It's not, I don't want to say bare bones, but it's an elementary structure because we wanted to start building engagement across the divisions of the department. So if we built it too heavy or if it was too rigorous, it would be very difficult to get engagement from the various parts of the groups. It also helps aid in evaluation and planning. I talked about that earlier. The important part of the plan is that you can never, if you don't measure something, how do you know if it's improving? So we want to make sure that we gave them some potential evaluation metrics, and they're going to continue to meet bi-monthly to determine whether or not they're meeting those metrics or if they need other types of metrics to continue to evaluate. So I know that I've spoken a little bit too much about immunizations. I wanted to thank everybody that had participated in the process, our participants at JCHD, which we have a few in the crowd, our instructors, and of course the members of the social media committee.